Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. This is a video I am very excited to be filming. Well, you'll see. This is a car that is very special to me, and let me do a little backstory on why that is. Back from like 2007 to 2008, 2009, 2010, maybe even like 11, 12, 13, like the late 2000s to the mid 2010s, lots of customizers, or I guess a couple customizers made a bunch of NASCAR X Cars customs. I'll put a couple pictures on the screen of some of my favorite ones. And I went down a very, very long rabbit hole back at like the end of 2022, start of 2023, trying to find every single one I could find a picture of. And I think I basically cleaned WorthPoint clean, I cleaned Flickr clean, I cleaned some other websites to find like as many possible pictures as I could. And I thought, like, I'm just in awe of how absolutely cool these things are. But I was also filled with disappointment that back when those were being made, I was like 3 years old. I would probably never have one. Then last week, just by complete coincidence, I finished up my work in a class, and I was just browsing eBay, I was looking for NASCAR custom diecasts, and what do I see but this thing right here? It was $25. I didn't know if I would ever have a chance to get something like it again, and I snatched it up. I don't think this is one of the ones that was actually made in like 2009, 2010, but that doesn't take anything away from it. This is still basically the same quality, the same style of stuff that they were doing way back then. It's just unbelievably cool to me. This is almost automatically like a top 5 favorite car in my collection out of everything. This is, I believe, it is Darrell Waltrip's 1983 Pepsi Challenger car. That car typically was yellow, but I believe for at least one race, maybe more, they experimented with painting it white, and this is the diecast of that. I believe they also made a couple actual diecasts of that real thing. Here he is with the actual Darrell car trip. So we have a custom of a Darrell Waltrip car, and we have Darrell car trip. Notice that they're not the same model. You can see that Darrell car trip is a little bit thinner, and Waltrip is, I guess, they're not the same model. You can see the boxy front end on car trip, and it's still pretty boxy, but it's a little bit rounder on Waltrip. You can see the rear end. They are pretty similar, but you can see plenty of differences. So that's like I thought it was a little bit interesting they chose this model over the actual Darrell car trip, but whatever, it still looks absolutely beautiful. The model that I believe it is, I know it is the Claude Scruggs model. You can see the eyes are not exact, but the mouth is pretty close. Of course, the customizer put the black line in between Darrell Waltrip's mouth. I don't know what I would call this guy. It's cool, like Darrell Waltrip Pepsi or whatever. I'm just overjoyed with this thing. You have the Pepsi logo on the hood. That looks really nice with the old style. We have the Challenger on the left side, and that is a real thing they did put on the actual car. That's pretty cool. And you have that same thing on the back with the Challenger, as well as the Pepsi logo once again with that red and blue on both sides rather. You just have the text Pepsi Challenger on the back. You also have the Pepsi logo on both sides above that rear wheel area. You have all of the, what are they called? The contingency sponsors. Unlike a car like Claude Scruggs, which has all the Piston Cup sponsors, they actually have the real life sponsors. You can see like STP, you can see Champion spark plugs, you can see 76. There's like a couple other ones on the front. And you have those same contingency sponsors on both sides. You have the number 11. These decals are just extremely clean. They're not like completely Mattel quality, but they're like 95% of the way there, which is pretty goddamn good. As I said, the number 11 on both sides, and the roof. The wheels are just kind of your standard light year wheels that you'd find at any other piston cup race. You can see compared to like Claude, they do appear to be basically the same, of course, different colors and all that. The one kind of issue with this car is the eyes, because they don't look as professional. You can see a couple mistakes, like on that far left side. You can see they're not like perfect, but they're still pretty well done, better than any custom I can make at this moment. The mouth is also pretty nice. You have the black line instead of the white line, which I think most of the cars of Claude's model have that white, or have like no line or a white line or whatever. I love the expression on this guy. As I said, I don't know what else to say. I think I've gone over most of this guy. Here's actually the base. You have like the exhaust is painted in chrome. I don't know if that's a custom or not. I haven't bothered to look at the bases of any of these Piston Cup racers. But you can see Claude's here is actually black and not the chrome color. So I think this may be a custom, depending on which car it is. I'll have to go find out. It's not Murray Clutchburn and it's not Claude. That's all I know. Those are the only ones I bothered to look before pulling it out the case. It's not James Cleaner either. Okay, let's see real quick. It's not Ernie Gearson, and it is not Greg Candyman. It might be Eugene Karberski, or I don't know. I'm just not getting into that. Man, as I was saying, the base, you can see the rivets have been pretty glued back together in order to make this guy work, because you have to take the base off, you know, to paint. I'm just so happy with this car. It's just that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.